The Phantasy Star franchise certainly has its share of dark moments in universe throughout its history. PSO2, of course, is no exception. My name's Zio, and I'll be your lore keeper. Today, we're going to the dark side, and taking a look at 5 of PSO2's darkest moments. Sukunahime is the Ash Maiden of Haruko-tan. Her backstory is pretty morbid though. The inhabitants of Haruko-tan, the Daybreakers and the Nightfallers, were locked in perpetual conflict. The impetus for this conflict is shrouded in the murky pool of history. Eventually both sides got sick of fighting, so the Daylord and the Nightlord got together to establish a peace accord. To seal the deal, the Nightlord's son and the Daylord's daughter tied the knot and subsequently produced a baby girl. But there was a problem here. The baby didn't look anything like her parents, and she was significantly smaller. Of course, both sides blamed each other, and the fighting started all over again. Eventually, Sukunahime's parents turned their blades on each other, and she would come between them, sacrificing herself. Her parents were mortified at the sight of what they did to their own daughter. In their grief, they sacrificed themselves so that she may live once again. The Ash Maiden's tears would create the eternal river that separates the two regions. Luther had been controlling arcs from the shadows for a good while. During his time in charge of the Central Research Division, Luther conducted countless unscrupulous experiments. His main goal, though, was to merge with Shion and become all-knowing. We make our way to the core and find Luther along with Shion's physical body. Shion sacrifices herself and puts the kibosh on those schemes. Luther merges with the corrupted mothership, but he's still beaten. But his tale of catastrophic failure doesn't end there. After this debacle, Luther is cut down for his countless sins at the hands of Regius. Moments later, Gemini comes on the scene and makes a light snack out of him. A similar event would happen during episode 5. Luther kidnaps Harriet and takes her to his hideout. We then come along and save Harriet and square off against his Dark Falls swarm. After that fight, Harriet cuts Luther down without hesitation for his crimes against the kingdom. He does go out expressing how proud he is of his little sister for showing the mark of a true queen. Matoya was once known as the legendary Claris Craze II before any record of her existence was flushed down the memory hole. One of the most powerful photon users to have ever lived, and definitely worthy of that name. This power struck fear into the heart of any foe, even a Dark Falls. She's so strong that Apprentice has to resort to using mind control on other Arcs operatives. Matoya still curb stomps Apprentice even without her Clarissa. Apprentice is beaten, but here's the plot twist. Persona comes on the scene and impales Matoya. This causes her to release the corrupted photons within and become host to the profound darkness. She tries to kill herself in order to stop this, but winds up being sent 10 years into the future. This actually dovetails nicely with the last one. The events of episode 3 were thanks in no small part to Gemini. The twins slaughtered the entire Nightfaller population and sent copies of them to invade the Daybreak province. We go to meet with the Nightlord personally, but something's wrong here. Gemini shows up and eats us, but Luther helps us break out of their pocket dimension. We manage to beat the twins, but then we take in a considerable amount of corrupted photons, causing the profound darkness to awaken within us. Then Matoya takes Clarissa to suck out the corrupted photons, then she turns into the profound darkness. We cross blades with Matoya on Nefarious, then Persona comes on the scene and restrains her, allowing us to kill them both. While restraining Matoya, Persona utters these words: "Take that blade and pierce straight through. Free her, and free me from all this." In the depths of our despair, we assume the form of this timeline's Persona. Episode 5 ends with a cliffhanger that introduces us to Shiva, the goddess of annihilation. She was insanely powerful, definitely living up to that title, and she wasn't bashful about rubbing it in people's faces. She was certainly known for putting on lavish displays of this power. One day, Shiva and company come sauntering into the mothership, swatting down any would-be defenders like they were flies. The trio makes a sport out of hunting down and exterminating Arcs operatives. Sarah confronts Shiva at the core of the mothership. Sarah doesn't use photons, so she feels confident in challenging Shiva. Well, the ladies square off, and Sarah quickly realizes how woefully outclassed she is here. She means to give Sarah one final taste of that power before vaporizing her. But, right at the last second, Shao comes in and eats the big ball of death for her. He very nonchalantly asks if she's okay before collapsing to the ground and dying in Sarah's arms. PSO2 has plenty of dark moments, but these ones stood out the most for me. So, what are some of your favorite dark moments? If you enjoyed this, well, you know what to do. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, to thine own self be true. Until next time, farewell.